Okay, so we have Ruth Smith in Year 12 and Holly Phillips in Year 13 here. I'm going to start with Ruth. Can you tell us what made you choose to do French at A-level?
So I've always really enjoyed French, and it's kind of been my favourite subject throughout school, and I like the idea of being able to have like a different language to learn, so you kind of know how to speak in two different ways, and kind of the topics that we study at A-level are actually really interesting. So far I've done about kind of marriage in France and all the different statistics about that, kind of cyber society and how people in France like use the internet, and then I've just moved on to kind of volunteer work in France, which is really interesting, and a lot of what we do in kind of AS is like linked to kind of stuff that we've done previously in terms of like grammar. It's kind of similar kind of concepts, but just kind of going deeper into it, and then using kind of different resources like MP3 players, which is quite interesting for the listening.
The topics are quite different, aren't they? So are you finding them interesting?
Yeah, I think they're kind of more interesting than what we did at GCSE. I'm kind of hard to say that. Kind of go more in depth about different kind of things and having to look at statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who do languages A-level find that it ties in with lots of other subjects. For example, it ties in with sociology, it ties in with English Lit in terms of writing essays. Great, okay. And moving on to Holly, if you can talk to us about why you chose to do French at A-level, and what have you found in terms of the move from AS to A2?
So I chose to do French A-level because, kind of the same as Ruth, I always love the idea of being able to communicate in a different language with somebody if it was their first language. So that's always really interested me. And with the jump from AS to A2, we've kind of delved more into French society currently, so I'm looking at politics and government at the moment, which is really interesting, and also looking at French literature. So I recently finished studying a French novel, which was really cool.
Yeah. And you also do a film. Well, you did a film halfway through Year 12. How did you find that?
So at first, me and the other people in my AS class were kind of apprehensive about having to write about a French film, but it was really, really interesting, and the way it linked into like the context and stuff, it was awesome. Great.
Can you talk a little bit about the speaking element of the course? And how that's practiced and assessed?
So, similar to GCSE, you have like speaking questions for different topics, but on top of that, in Year 13 you also have like free rein to choose a research project to look into. So one of my passions is swimming and teaching swimming, so I'm doing about that in France and other French countries and how it impacts society.
Great, so you can choose whatever you want for that research task, can't you, as long as it's got to do with a French-speaking country. Okay, thank you.